This morning in Japan, President Trump delivered remarks to 6,000 troops aboard the USS George Washington in what sounded more like a campaign speech. President Trump touted his political achievements, condemned Democrats in Washington, and criticized the media. But he also delivered this message on future U.S. military operations.
We will not be politically correct. You don't mind that, do you? When it comes to defending the United States, we're no longer politically correct. We're going to defend our country any way we have to, and that's usually not the politically correct way. From now on, if we're in a war, we're going to win the war. We're going to win it like nobody ever before. You know, we'd go in, we'd blast the hell out of countries. Shouldn't have gone in. By the way, if you don't go in, that's even better. We don't have to go in peace through strength. But, you know, we'd go in, we'd win, and then we'd leave. They used to say, to the victor belong the spoils. Well, we'd be the victor that would leave because we had people that didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Joining us now, retired four-star general and MSNBC military analyst, General Barry McCaffrey. Also with us, co-host of Morning Joe and staff writer for The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire. Jonathan, what's with these political speeches in front of troops?
Oh, it's hardly a new phenomenon for this president, unheard of for any of his predecessors. But President Trump treats these sort of speeches as he does a campaign rally. We saw it even today on foreign soil. That used to be another matter where you'd leave politics at the water's edge. That's not the case anymore. We saw it a few weeks ago when he spoke to the top leadership of the military at Quantico, in that meeting convened by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. So there's nothing new there, but it's interesting. The timing of this comes as the U.S., of course, Katie, is deploying more and more of its ships to the Caribbean towards Venezuela. The Secretary of Defense announced a few more strikes today in international waters. There's been almost a dozen now in recent weeks. And as we've been reporting at The Atlantic and here on MSNBC, there have been suggestions within the administration that some of those strikes could move to land now. Now, the president, as you well know, Katie, you and I were both covered the 2016 campaign. He was really forceful, and it was a message that resonated with potential voters when he criticized the Iraq and Afghanistan forever wars, pledged he'd never do the same. He's not saying he'll put boots on the ground in Venezuela, but there does a suggestion the U.S. may involve itself more militarily there and do it soon.
Yeah, it is strange because that was a pretty clear message being sent from his supporters. We don't want to be involved in everybody else's wars. We've got enough going on here. We don't need to be America or the world's policeman. General McCaffrey, though, it doesn't sound like that's what Donald Trump believes any longer, as Jonathan was just mentioning, from the rhetoric that he's giving not just to those troops in Japan, but the speech to the military generals, the way he talks to reporters, how he refers to what's happening in Venezuela. It sounds like he wants to be the arbiter of everything around the world.
Well, he's unconstrained. And I think when you take that presentation aboard the carrier in Tokyo Bay, which sounded unhinged and was cringeworthy, and had the Japanese new woman prime minister present while the troops are chanting USA. It was bellicose. It was resonating with those young sailors. That's the other thing. You know, there is a widespread feeling among some in the military to push back against what they considered woke strictures on the armed forces. So we ought to be concerned about this. If that speech in Tokyo aboard a carrier had been made by a military officer, he would have been canned and court-martialed for violation of politicization of the military. So we've got a real problem. This message is being heard, and people are responding to Trump's rhetoric.